Hi there. It's never been a more exciting time to be an Apple developer. I come to you presenting the second edition of my iOS crash dump analysis book. And boy, there's been a lot of change in the ecosystem. We've now welcomed the Apple Silicon Macs, and that brings with it its own advanced technologies. For example, Pointer Authentication. Moreover, we see some really interesting scenarios now that simply weren't possible before. And as a consequence, of course, we see a lot more novel crash scenarios. Before, we could only look at things in isolation. For example, an iOS app crashing either on the simulator or on target hardware. Now an iOS app could crash on a Mac running natively, and that is a completely new realm for your iOS app to run in. Similarly, if you've got a Mac app which was compiled for the Intel architecture, and you're able to run that on an Apple Silicon Mac also, and that is a translation mode environment, and that can bring its own curiosities in terms of crashes. And lastly, with the Pointer Authentication feature, which is part of the ARM 8.3 architecture, what we're now able to do is opt into that. Say we want that extra level of security in our app, but of course some apps, particularly ones that do low level work, will do some pointer arithmetic, and so there's a new scenario for pointer authentication enabled apps to also crash. So all these new things in the new Apple platforms are really a new chapter in the story of crash dump analysis. So I hope in the second edition of my book you'll find new fertile ground for study and investigation. And I build upon the first edition, which essentially looked at crash dump analysis from multiple perspectives, one being of software engineering, one being of tooling, and the other being really from a problem analysis and diagnostics perspective. Because crash dump analysis is really, in a way, just bug finding. But in order to work effectively as engineers, we need a methodology. So that comes in as part of the first edition, which is the foundation upon which the second edition has been built. So hopefully, if you have the chance to read my book, you'll get a comprehensive foundation in crash dump analysis, in fact, on all Apple platforms, iOS, macOS, tvOS, watchOS, etc., and all the new permutations that are now available. So I hope you enjoyed the book. Thanks very much.